And ready to get it going, we see the Magic. Welcome, everyone. This is what you've been waiting for. The NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. First, for the Pacers, at the 1 and 2, George Hill and Lance Stephenson. And starting 7'2", one of the true giants in the game, another great big man out of Georgetown, Roy Hibbert. Then it's Paul George, and it's West in at the 4 spot. And looking at the Orlando Magic, Nelson and Afflalo combine a guard. What a tremendous talent, getting ready for his first NBA appearance. Then there's Mo Harkless, and it's O'Quinn in at the 4 spot. Now, here's Stephenson. He's guarded by Afflalo. Stephenson off the pick from Hibbert. Stephenson dishes to Hibbert. Releases. And the shot falls short this time.
Well, George Hill, one of those unique stories, playing with his hometown Indiana Pacers. He's a native of Indianapolis and Broad Ripple High School. Was drafted by the Spurs, played in their system for 3 years out in San Antonio, and was acquired by the Pacers in a draft day trade back in 2011. And it's worked out well for both teams.
They get it again. Dedmon. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And prior to last season, the Pacers signing George Hill to a 5-year, $40 million extension.
He's a good player, a really good combo guard, can shoot it well from distance, can run a team. Maybe not a traditional point guard, but somebody who can help you win. I think it was a good move for the Pacers.
And he's good on the second.
Clearly, Orlando was a team in transition last year. They had a group of younger, inexperienced players, and many times when that's the case, you'll get off to slow starts in games, and that certainly proved to be true for the Magic.
The feed to Stephenson. Hibbert with a screen on Afflalo. Stephenson kicks to Hill. Shot clock at 5. He was all alone on that one. Hill's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Well, Clark, you mentioned that the Magic were at the very bottom of the league when it came to scoring in the first quarter of games. Steve, you got to get better as the game went on, obviously, but you can't start every game in a hole down like they did and expect to do well.
Well, we just go back to the roster, and that explains everything. I mean, you look at who they had, the lack of a go-to scorer out of the gates, and that explains the slow starts. So this is really all about continuing to build the roster and try to put together some talent.
And here's George, following the 3 from Jameer Nelson.
Well, it's not often you find a player like Paul George who, as tall as he is, can play 2 guard. But when you do, you're going to see some really big numbers in rebounding from him. And that's what George does. He wants to average double-digit rebounds.
This is his first free throw of the game.
Well, I like what he did at the line a season ago, shooting 81%.
And, guys, the numbers don't lie. I mean, he was such a reliable presence at the free throw line all throughout last season.
And George drops them both. And Clark, you mentioned the height of Paul George. 6'8" when he was drafted. He actually grew to 6'10" in his rookie season, Steve. So he's a young guy that's continuing to grow both on the floor and physically.
Yeah, he may be 7'2" by his 4th year. I'll tell you, though, he gives you power forward size and rebounding with guard skills. It's easy to see why the Pacers are so excited about him.
Does he remind you of anybody in particular?
A bit like Scottie Pippen, you know, early in his career. Maybe not quite as strong as Scottie, but a similar skill set.
Interesting. Harkless with the bucket.
Nice soft touch to drop that one in.
And here is Hill. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Earlier, I spoke with Frank Vogel. I asked him where he thought they have an advantage in this game, and he said our shot blocking is one thing that really sets us apart. Now, we have to be solid all around, but that does help us quite a bit when it comes to sending away penetration and shot attempts inside. Kevin, never something you want to rely on, but always a great backup to have.
Thanks, Doris. And as Doris provided the details, guys, the way they plan to attack defensively will be key early on, won't it?
Yeah, and early is the key word there, Kevin. If they can string together some stops right away, I think it'll really set the tone.
Which is just what they're going to be after, guys. They'd love to turn this into a defensive battle.
Guys, no one team gaining control early on.
Give and take, back and forth, the whole way thus far.
Yeah, 6 lead changes already, and as Rasheed Wallace once said, both teams playing hard, my man.
And in this first quarter, about 3 minutes played. Orlando leading. Afflalo left side. Pass to Harkless. Dishes it to Nelson. Can't get it to fall.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for them.
Some nice passing here by Indiana. Hill passes to George. Knocks it loose.
You know, even though he missed that one, great shooters have a way of feeling when they've got enough room to pull the trigger.
Yeah, not enough defensive coverage there to prevent him from firing that time. But, yeah, I think if he's open, he's got to let that thing fly.
The 3 from Hill. And it's O'Quinn with the rebound. O'Quinn's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Nelson with it. George picks him up. Goes up on the wing, and Nelson gets it to go. Nelson's got 5 points so far.
One of the bright young head coaching stars in the league, Frank Vogel, took over the Pacers on an interim basis 3 seasons ago and immediately paid dividends. They had a strong finish to that season and his first season in a competitive first-round series against Chicago, and that success has continued to build and grow, and Frank Vogel deserves a lot of the credit.
Now the pass to Harkless. And there are the Magic with another bucket. Here's Hill. Feeds it to Stephenson. West setting the pick for Stephenson. It's back to Hill. He dishes it to Stephenson. Outside, George. Indiana again missing. And Coach Vogel, the second youngest coach in the NBA last season, but he'd been working in the NBA for 15 years, Steve, prior to that, prior to becoming a head coach.
Yeah, 5 years as a video coordinator, a couple seasons as an advanced scout, and then 8 years on the bench as an assistant. So he's definitely paid his dues and learned a lot on his way up the ladder.
Now, here is George. After the miss from Afflalo. A nice shot by George.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, his offense is going to be there for him.
Nelson with it. 5 points in the game. Here's Harkless. There's the block.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
Yeah, and even though it's early, I mean, that's a great sign for them for the rest of the game.
And here's Hill for 3. Orlando grabs the miss. Here's Afflalo. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Hill against Nelson. No luck. So the Pacers will take it the other way. And George, here we go. Got it. Good job in the low post. George has got 6 points. And it'll be Orlando with their first time out of the game right here.
Well, I tell you what, the Pacers did a lot of good things last year. Defended well, protected the rim and their home court. And really the one area for improvement is probably the road record. They could get better in that area.
Orlando, they've gone 5 of 12 from the field since the opening tip. Nelson dishes to Nicholson. He passes to Harkless. Nelson outside. Afflalo. 6 to shoot. From past the arc. Nelson, no luck. Well, Clark, as you said, the Pacers didn't play as well as they had hoped to on the road for a team that won the division. They were 19-20.
Back and forth we go. That basket gives us just another lead change.
And there have been too many of those to keep track of. What a contest.
Indiana making some changes. Oladipo, he's checked in for Maurice Harkless. And it's E'Twaun Moore checking in for Jameer Nelson. And that one misses.
You know, in order to win your division, you have to be able to win games against the rest of your conference, and that's exactly what Indiana did last season. A tough team in a tough division, and they gave no ground to other teams in the East.
And the Pacers, as you mentioned, Clark, very solid against the other teams in the East as they would cruise to a 31-20 record against the rest of the conference.
And really, that's because this team is built to handle anything that's thrown at them. Kevin, it's a big, strong, kind of old-school team. They'll pound you inside, they rebound, they protect the paint. There aren't a lot of matchups that seem to bother this team.
When the Magic made the big trade they did to send an unhappy Dwight Howard away, everybody thought they'd be the doormat of the league, and that wasn't quite the case. They were able to sneak up on some teams early and had enough talent to battle others late.
And here's Stephenson. Leads him in there. Here's Scola, and he stuffs it. What a pass to set him up. Well, guys, this first half has been about as tightly contested as you could hope for.
Well, neck and neck, how about that? I mean, ferociously competitive. I mean, tight as me in an airplane bathroom.
And as good as their season appeared early on, the Magic did eventually cool off and teams were able to overpower them. Steve, early on, they definitely caught teams off guard, I thought, and were playing well above themselves.
I agree, Kevin. They executed really well. They would run Afflalo and Redick off those screens. And Vucevic was a surprise, a really good young player down low. But they've got to continue to build this roster in order to compete at the highest level.
Here's Mahinmi. That is good.
Well, that's how you pick up second chance points. Stay active, be energetic, and react as soon as the shot goes up.
Passes to Oladipo. Oladipo off the pitch for Nicholson. And Oladipo kicks to Nicholson. And his first shot of the game, no good.
He's not necessarily a strong inside presence, but he needs to polish those chances off. Well, it was rather on the down low, but a very nice rookie season for 6'9" big man Andrew Nicholson out of St. Bonaventure. He didn't start playing basketball until the 11th grade, guy, but you'd never guess it from his well-rounded offensive skill set.
Moore passes to Nicholson. It's rebounded by Stephenson. Stevenson's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Out of bounds, Pacers ball as Indiana keeps possession.
He had no choice but to lunge for that pass to stop it from getting through.
Well, that was a good job. It could have been a quick bucket if he doesn't knock it out of bounds there.
Evan Turner, he's checked in for Indiana. Orlando on D. It's a 3-point game. Watson gets a screen from Scola. Watson dishes to Scola. Mahinmi, pocket 6, can't hit from the elbow. And Clark, you mentioned the offensive gifts of Andrew Nicholson. Range on his jump shot, array of moves inside. He comprises a nice little package.
Yeah, he's going to be an interesting player. Very creative offensively. He's got a soft touch with that jump hook, and you mentioned the ability to shoot from range.
Harris gets the screen from Nicholson. Harris kicks to Moore. There's the 3. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. Moore's got 6 points. The Pacers have gone 50% from the field in the first quarter, 8 of 16. Watson with it. Moore's there. Puts it up from 7. Stolen away. He kicks it to Nicholson. He feeds it to Harris. Nicholson in the post, defended by Mahinmi. Nicholson with the bucket.
Nice early advantage for them on the glass, guys.
know, part of rebounding well early is just going after the ball and boxing out. I mean, establishing that tone so that you can maintain it later in the game.
To the paint, and stolen by Harris. 1:30 left in the first. Oladipo, the pass to Lamb. And Scola gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul.
He tried to step in and cut him off, but just not quick enough.
And we have the benefit of replay, but I think they got that one right, which is the case most times, even though fans don't think so.
Here are the Magic now. Pass to Lamb. Shot clock at 6. Oh, trying for it. Ball's knocked loose.
Well, despite that possession, something I'd like is that they've really been in control while getting out to this lead. They've kept the turnovers down. You know, the instant that steal was made, they were off and running the other way.
Ball pressure, then a run-out feed. That's perfection to me.
Harris, guarded by Scola. Nicholson kicks to Lamb. Harris, 6 on the shot clock. Harris missing again.
I think he was surprised by how much space he had there and just rushed the shot a little bit.
Stephenson dishes to Turner. Kicks to Stephenson. Indiana moving it around. And they take the lead. And it's a 3-point Pacer lead.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And Moore kicks to Nicholson. Harris. Harris gets the screen for Nicholson. And it's Harris off the drive. Here's Nicholson. Harris defended by Mahinmi. And the basket by Harris. 9 seconds left in the first quarter. Now Watson. No good there off the double clutch. A good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. Pacers lead by 1. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach so far that we've seen for the Pacers?
You know, guys, we've really seen them do a lot of damage in the paint so far.
And the other thing we're seeing is great ball movement. We're seeing a lot of good offensive execution, ball movement, player movement, setting up assists.
Watson gets a screen from Scola. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
You can talk about a lot of other power forwards around the league, and even though Scola never really explodes for monster games, a lot of his opponents will tell you he's one of the toughest guys to deal with because he's so consistent and has a lot of versatility to his offensive game.
Well, and speaking of Scola, 2-time MVP of the Spanish League, didn't come to the NBA until his late 20s, but boy, when he arrived, he made a dent.
He was ready to go immediately because of his experience in Europe, where he was a go-to scoring threat. And you know, he could do a lot of things offensively, whether it was posting up or making that mid-range jump shot.
And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Gentlemen, Roy Hibbert is pretty good friends with Tim Duncan. Hibbert recalls when they met. He said, I met him when I was a kid during the 2001 NBA All-Star Game in D.C., and he actually remembers that moment. We share scouting reports on other teams. It's just a friendship. I learn from him, and you know, he's the best. So I don't know if he picks up anything from me, but I definitely learn from him. Kevin, a great tutor for the young Hibbert.
Well, hard to think of a better mentor for Roy than the great Tim Duncan. Thanks, Doris. Orlando's gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc so far tonight. Moore. That's good. Moore's got 8 points.
I don't know who was supposed to be on him there, but clearly a mistake by the defense.
Well, with only 20 wins, the Magic had the worst record in the league and a good chance to get the #1 overall pick in the draft. Didn't work out that way. They got the #2 pick, which isn't a bad second place.
And the basket by Stephenson. Bucky talked about a back-and-forth game. This is the definition of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Kevin. I mean, not even through the first half, and it's been one heck of a battle.
Well, these are the kinds of games you love. I mean, 2 good teams going head-to-head, an even matchup, and both sides very competitive, on their toes tonight.
4 on the shot clock. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. Well, Clark, as you said, for the Magic, they did miss out on that #1 spot, but in a draft where several players could have been considered, Steve, the top pick, they picked a good time to have their draft luck change.
Well, remember, this is a franchise that within their first 5 seasons had back-to-back #1 overall picks. One of those was Shaq, by the way, so they've had their luck. But I really like Oladipo. I think he's going to be a star in this league. I think Orlando has a building block for the future. Well, if the Pacers wanted to grab the attention of the league with their postseason play, they certainly did that. They marched through the first 2 rounds by knocking off the Hawks and the Knicks. And, boy, remember, they were a game away from the NBA Finals.
And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. It's going to be on Victor Oladipo. Ultimately, the Pacers would fall to the Heat, but they put them to the test. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They gained respect league-wide even more than they had going into the playoffs. It took 7 games, Clark, and you saw them all, which a lot of folks didn't see coming.
I know that's the case, and yet the way the Pacers showed such grit in that series, it indicates they can compete with anybody. And when you have a defensive anchor like they do in Roy Hibbert, they've got a chance to be a championship team before long.
O'Quinn, the pass to Harkless. 3-pointer, Nelson. Kept alive Orlando. Down low. And Hibbert with the block. And it's Turner off the drive. The kick out to Hill. Here's the dish to Stephenson. Indiana again missing.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, a little frustrated now, shaking his head after that miss.
Nelson kicks to Harkless. Nelson for 3, and the basket good. Nelson's got 8 points.
Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
Now here's Stephenson. He's got 8. Hill kicks it to West. Off the left rim and out.
And it is very dangerous to leave him open like that. Lucky break for the defense that he missed it.
Nelson left side. 3-pointer, and again it's Orlando with the 3.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
And it's Turner off the drive. And it's Orlando with the rebound.
You see the defenders get out of his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the bucket, but not that time.
Maxiell looks like the Magic will retain possession here. Closing in on 4 minutes played here in the second quarter. Nelson left side. Launches it. Nelson with another miss. Pacers trail by 6. And Stephenson kicks to Turner. Taken away. Oladipo with the ball. He's got 6. Here's Harkless. Dedmon drops in the layup for 2. And the Magic lead by 8. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Magic.
And they come out in attack mode defensively, applying pressure and stealing the ball repeatedly.
They're crashing the offensive glass hard, too. I mean, they've dropped in several second-chance baskets.
Harkless with it, picked up by Turner. And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession.
Boy, just a brain cramp, guys. I mean, that should have been the simplest of exchanges.
And Indiana making a change here. Mahinmi's checked in. Pacers trail by 8. Back to Turner. It's tipped. And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. Outside Hill. The feed to Stephenson. It's back to Hill. Just 5 to shoot. Indiana needs to get a shot off. Stephenson can't hit.
Another strong rebound, just like we've gotten used to seeing from them today.
Yeah, 1 or 2 more of those, and this lead will be double digits.
Oladipo dishes to Nelson. Pass to Harkless. To the middle, Dedmon. And that one's good. 5 points in the game.
So they've done a great job of getting into the middle of that defense and scoring in the paint.
Well, and that's why they're on this run, guys. They're getting the ball inside and getting really high percentage looks.
Pacers trail by 10. Outside Hill. Dishes to Stephenson. Outside Turner. Nails the wide open jump shot.
Assist from Lance Stephenson.
On offense, here are the Magic. They're on a 16-6 run. The pass to Harkless. Feeds it to Oladipo. Clock at 6. The Magic need to get a shot off here. Nelson from outside. They get the rebound. Dedmon missed inside. For Indiana, they've gone only 2 of 7 from the field since the second quarter got underway. Hill passes to Stephenson. As they get it back, Mahinmi kicks to Stephenson for 3. Hill gets it to go. Now just a 5-point Magic lead.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They got to get more intense. You know, last season, George Hill, really for the first time, was handed the keys to the team as the starting point guard for the Pacers and played the most minutes of his career and responded with his best season yet.
Gets the bucket.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. I mean, with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
Stephenson on the 3 off target. And going back to George Hill, great length and athleticism at the point guard position, defensive-minded guy. He really fits with the hard-nosed identity of this team. Wouldn't you say, Steve?
Yeah, I love George Hill. Offensively, he shoots with range, and he's able to slash and draw fouls. Excellent rebounder for the point guard position. And you mentioned the length. I mean, the wingspan for Hill allows him to guard both 1s and 2s in the backcourt. And I think the lead they've built here, guys, is in large part due to what they've done on the boards.
Absolutely. I mean, they have a +10 advantage in rebounds, and they've been in total control of the backboard. It has not been an easy quarter for them, at least offensively speaking.
Turner dishes to West. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, he earned that one. Took the hit and still found a way to knock it down.
Yeah, fantastic body control. And the will to get it done. You like that focus.
The Pacers making a switch here.
And the most striking thing about him, Kevin, is just how strong he is. He plays the game so physically. May not be the most skilled guy, but he plays with a burning passion.
And he gives them a terrific option in the low post every time down the court. Even with multiple defenders around him, he knows how to create a shot for himself.
He dishes it to Turner. The tray gets it to go. Turner's got 5 points now in the quarter.
He didn't get off to much of a start early on, but he seems to have shaken off the rust here in the quarter.
Nelson kicks to Harris. He passes to Harkless. Orlando moving the ball around. Turner against Afflalo. Nelson outside. Teardrop shot. And now the fast break. George with the ball. And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, it certainly seemed the Magic were to be lost after Dwight Howard, but they have quickly turned things around. The development of their young players last year and nabbing the #2 overall pick in the draft helped speed that process. They took Victor Oladipo and now have a fantastic collection of young talent. We'll see how quickly they can get back to the postseason, guys.
Well, they didn't get it done last season, Doris, but they're hoping with the revamped roster, this will be the year.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark Power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Well, Indiana's success last season was built around its defensive prowess, and they usually would set the tone at the start of the game. They were one of the best in the league at allowing the fewest first quarter points.
That's good.
The turnaround jumper, that was a thing of beauty.
Pacers trail by 4. To the inside. Mahinmi kicks to George. And again, it's the Pacers from deep.
A little bit of a defensive breakdown there. He's not the guy you want to leave open on the perimeter. You've got to stay attached to him.
Going back to the Pacers once more, you knew they wanted to emphasize defense each game, and Steve, they would always come out and get right in the offensive player's face to start the game.
And they allow the fewest first quarter points of any team in the league last year, Kevin. That's a great way to kind of set the tempo, set the tone in a ball game, and the Pacers were able to establish that defense right away.
First one falls for him.
Boy, it was a tough year for the Magic last season. They found no salvation here in Orlando either. They were dreadful at home and had the fewest home court wins of any team in the league. Tough pill for the fans there to swallow.
Luis Scola, he's checked in for David West. Hill kicks to Turner. Turner gets the screen from Mahinmi. Turner passes to Scola. Hill for the three. It's hauled in by Harris. And that home record of the Magic's that you mentioned, Clark, a paltry 12-29. So, Steve, that being said, a big part of why they ended with the fewest wins in the entire league. Why?
Well, I mean, if you can't defend your home court, good luck to you. But the big thing is just not enough talent. I mean, it's a team that is in full-blown rebuilding mode, and last year was kind of the initial season in that campaign, and it obviously showed.
Back to Turner. Pass to Scola. He kicks to George. Fires for three. That's good. George has got 6 in the quarter.
They're relying on their three-point shooting and getting pretty good results right now.
Yeah. In fact, 3 of the last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. And as with any timeout at this point of the game, important to go over the strategies that are working and those that are needed in terms of adjustments. And, of course, the opportunity, guys, to get hydrated with Gatorade before coming back out of the floor. We've seen some good action so far, and there's more of it to come.
Yeah, this game has been physical, it's been fast, it's been high-paced. So anytime you're in a situation like this where it's really a hard-fought game, it's critical to keep yourself hydrated throughout.
Pacers trail by 4. Turner dishes to Hill. Hill gets a screen from Mahinmi. Hill kicks to George. Kept alive by Indiana. Another shot. Scola, no luck. They have a chance to go 2 for 1 here.
Let's see how they play the clock.
And it's Harris off the drive. He feeds it to Nicholson. Nelson defended by Mahinmi. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a 3-point play.
Outstanding job there to absorb the contact and guide it in.
That's how you impose your will against the defender. He came to play.
For Orlando, they have been good at the free throw line. This one, 7 of 8.
Well, this is a club that shot 75% as a team from the free throw line last season.
You know, one of the things you always hear about Aaron Afflalo, he's one of the most dedicated professionals in the game. A guy who every summer goes back to his hometown of Los Angeles and works on his game diligently. I mean, he's the kind of guy that always seems to get better year in and year out, just looking to grow as a ball player. It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
Nelson with it, picked up by Turner. And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession.
Boy, they couldn't hook up there on what's really a pretty basic pass.
Here's Hill. He's got 6. Back to George. Hibbert with a screen for George. Puts the lead pass in front of him. Hibbert gets the bucket.
Very well executed pick to give him all kinds of space to get that one off.
From half court. And a tight game here as we end the first half. It's the Magic up by 5. Folks, stay tuned for the halftime show with Damon Bruce for all the highlights from our first half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to a Thursday edition of the Halftime Report. Orlando on top against Indiana. They've capitalized on their trips to the charity stripe, and that's been crucial. They've gotten some great minutes from Jameer Nelson. He's got 11 points.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. We're seeing a tremendous game from Paul George.
He went off in the first 2 quarters, guys, as he's capable of doing. We might see some changes here in the defensive approach they use on him in the second half.
Yeah, they've got to make some sort of change. I mean, they can't let him continue to torch him like he has been.
West a screen on Afflalo. Stephenson kicks it to West. Nelson with the steal. Looking to end his cold spell. Pacers with the rebound. George has got 4 rebounds in this game. West passes to George. Kicks it to Stephenson. Back to George. Here's West. Nice work on the ball. He's paying off with the basket. West has got the first basket of the second half here for Indiana. Back to Nelson. There's the dish to Afflalo. 6 to shoot. It's rebounded by Indiana. West has got his 3rd rebound tonight. Here's Stephenson. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And the defense fouling there to prevent that layup, forcing 2 free throws here.
Nice job that time of attacking the paint and drawing the contact. They'll take that.
He's off on the first.
Well, you got to love the season from David West last year, coming off the ACL tear back in 2011. I think he's completely back as far as that injury is concerned. He was so good last year, particularly in the playoffs.
Afflalo dishes to Nelson. Back to Afflalo. Pass to Harkless. Lets it go from deep. Once again off the mark, Orlando. And David West, Clark, a locker room leader for the Pacers last season, helped lead them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and a guy I know that you greatly admire.
Oh, my goodness. Love the way he does his work. I call him Real Deal 21. There's nothing fluffy about what he gets done, and he's so smart and so savvy in how he approaches the game, and really a lion in the locker room for the Pacers. That's why that team was so tough in many ways, particularly defensively.
Nelson against Hill. The Magic again can't hit.
He's tried to get it going, but the shots just have not dropped for him today.
Now the feed to Stephenson. George. Offensive rebound. The kick out to Hill. Nelson against West. Nelson, the pass to O'Quinn. It's Nelson up top, defended by George. Pass to Afflalo. Afflalo left side, stolen by Stephenson. Outside Hill. Hill left side. From deep, George. That doesn't go either for George.
Well, eventually he'll start knocking those down again. He did make 2 in the first half.
Nelson kicks to Afflalo. Dishes it to Harkless. Back to Afflalo. 5 on the clock. Looking to end the drought. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
You look at how Aaron Afflalo came into this league and how he plays now. I mean, he's gone from being just a defensive specialist to a starter that can put up some solid offensive numbers as well.
And he knocks down the first one. And for Afflalo, he's had the ball in his hands more and more.
And he's improved penetrating and creating his own shot. He used to be more of a spot-up shooter, but really expanded his offensive game. Even can mix in a little post-up game as well. And at the free throw line, it's all about consistency with him. Same routine, same stroke.
Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. Hill against Nelson. From deep, Stephenson. Good. The assist goes to Hill. Stephenson's got 11.
There is no way a player like him can be left wide open like that. Did you pay attention to the scouting report?
Nelson dishes to O'Quinn. Good on the shot.
And this offense needed that one after 4 misses to start the half.
Indiana trailing here. Outside Hill. Hill gets a screen from Hibbert. Hill kicks to Hibbert. The kick out to Hill. Indiana moving it around. Shot clock at 6. Stephenson passes to Hibbert. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful.
That's the kind of aggressive and assertive play they need as we get closer and closer to crunch time.
No question. Pound it into the painted area and continue to put pressure on that defense.
Afflalo. He's guarded by Stephenson. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call.
Boy, in a close game especially, those plays really hurt.
The Pacers making a change here. For Indiana, they've gone 4 of 7 to get things started here in the second half. Hibbert with a screen for George. Inside to Hibbert. Goes straight through the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. It's on Aaron Afflalo.
Boy, taking it hard to the rack for the big throwdown.
And give an unofficial assist, Clark, to his teammate for setting the screen that freed him up.
Yeah, good call, Kevin. That was really the key to the play.
Maurice Harkless is checked in for the Magic. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for the Pacers.
Man, they keep piling up the assists, guys. Great ball movement.
Well, it's been a super performance from beyond the arc, too. I mean, they've been raining in those threes.
The pass to Lamb. Paul George with the steal. Makes the lead pass. Stephenson lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that, they got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back.
Indiana had perhaps the toughest defense in the league. They just didn't have any weaknesses defensively. If you attacked them inside, they were able to challenge you at the rim. If you tried to shoot over them, they were challenging you with their length on the perimeter. And they didn't back down. So it's not a surprise they were near the top in every defensive category. Now, this is why the breakaway rim was invented, for plays just like that.
Well, he almost brought the whole thing down, Clark, by hanging on that long.
Yeah, he did,
Well,
didn't he?
it was a great dunk and also a great game we've got here.
The Pacers making a change here. Mahinmi's checked in, and Clark, the numbers back up what you were saying about the Pacers. A lot of stat heads will look at opponents' effective field goal percentage as a measuring stick for defense. And the Pacers, Steve, were the best in the league at that.
Well, they passed the eye test, that's for sure, Kevin. I mean, they challenge every shot. They get out to the three-point line. They block shots at the rim. And there's a reason this team was so good at the defensive end.
Stephenson off the pick from West. Stephenson kicks to George. Here's Mahinmi. Excellent D there from O'Quinn. The Magic trail by 3. Here's Lamb. It's rebounded by Stephenson. Stephenson's got rebound number 8 now on the night. George with the ball. Now guarded by Moore. Stephenson kicks to Watson. And out of bounds as the Magic will gain possession. And Indiana making a change here. The Magic have gone just 25% from the field here in the second half. They're 2 of 8. And Moore kicks to Harris. Feeds to Lamb for the tie. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. Harris has got 3 assists in the game. He dishes it to George. Right side George. Mahinmi. It's hauled in by Harris. Harris has got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Harris, right side. Harris gets the screen from Nicholson. Harris dishes to Nicholson. 6 to shoot. Follow foul against Hill. Here's Nicholson, and it's blocked by Mahinmi. And George, here we go. Watson for three. Nice defense from Moore. Orlando's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Passes it to Harris. He's against Hill. And Moore kicks to Afflalo. But they recover it. Offensive rebound. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Easy call there.
No question about that one. You could hear the impact from where I am.
For Orlando, they have been getting it done at the line, 10 for 12. And they now lead as the free throw drops for him. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Indiana. Lance Stephenson comes in for George. And so Nicholson nails both of them. Clark, they've shared the load offensively.
Yeah, they've done a nice job with it, Kevin and Steve. I mean, everybody's touching the ball. There's a nice flow to what they're doing offensively.
It makes it so much tougher to defend, too, when you have to account for all 5 offensive players, and the ball just moves so quickly. Tough to defend that.
Just 4 to shoot. Here's Hibbert to stop the run. Second shot opportunity, and he's knocked off course by the D. The foul called. He'll shoot free throws. Pacers have really been struggling with their free throws, only made 5. More misses than makes so far.
Well, Mahinmi wasn't a big name when he became a free agent a few years back. But, you know, the Indiana Pacers saw enough in him that they were willing to offer up to a 4-year deal for Jan to be the backup center. And
kind of an interesting trade for the Pacers for Mahinmi. You know, you could have signed him outright, but chose to trade Darren Collison to Dallas. And that sign and trade with the Mavs. Mahinmi, well, an important player for the Pacers, as we saw backing up Hibbert.
He was good, but, you know, it would have been nice for them to keep Collison and sign Mahinmi. I thought they needed some depth at the point guard spot, particularly in that playoff run.
Some of the shots he's taken have been real head scratchers. I mean, come on. He's out there playing like it's a game of horse at the park.
Moore outside. He passes to Afflalo. He kicks it to Nicholson. High quality look, and he sinks it. Nicholson's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Looked like the defense kind of backed off him, and he took advantage.
Stephenson off the pick for Mahinmi. Inside. He feeds it to Watson. Kicks it to Stephenson. Now the dish to Mahinmi. Pass to Hibbert. That's good. Hibbert's got 9 points.
Good job there, recognizing the mismatch and then just going straight up with the shot. He's got a major height advantage.
Time call here. The Magic decide to talk it over.
When Hibbert came into the league, guys, everybody assumed he'd be a project, and that's been accurate. But projects can pay off, and to have a player with his size and work ethic and skill is a huge payday for the Pacers.
Paul George, he's checked in for Indiana. On defense, Indiana. Moore passes to Nicholson. And there's the feed to Oladipo. Out to Harris. Pocket 4. Down low. Nicholson. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Roy Hibbert picks one up. And going back to Hibbert, and Clark, you mentioned this. Looked at as a project when he came in. Taken with the 17th pick, Steve, back in 08 in a draft that you were involved with Phoenix.
Well, we took Robin Lopez at 14 because he just had much better mobility athletically. We were shocked that Hibbert could eventually develop the kind of speed and lateral quickness that he's done. So pretty impressive that he's put all this work in and defied his critics.
David West, he's checked in for Ian Mahinmi.
They've clearly been the better team on the glass, but it hasn't necessarily translated to the scoreboard yet.
But you feel like it's going to reward this team at some point. They've got to continue to maintain the energy.
First free throw is good. And so Moore nails both of them. Pacers trail by 4. Hill kicks to Stephenson. It's back to Hill. Shoots the three. The shot will not go. Nice D from Afflalo.
He's killing them with his close shooting. The defense is more than willing to give him those shots now.
Took him no time at all on that one. Afflalo's got 9. The Pacers shooting 35% or so in the third quarter. Whatever they're trying is not working. George with the screen on Harris. West dishes to Stephenson. Back to West. Puts it up from 12. And it's good. He's got 6.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
Pass to Oladipo. Oladipo off the pick from Nicholson. There's the pick. Off the screen. Misses off the left iron.
Well, that's an excellent challenge right there. Good job contesting that shot by the defender.
Hibbert with a screen for George. Back to Hibbert. Outside, George. Stephenson. From outside, off the mark. The shot and game clock separated by 4. Moore passes to Afflalo. Back to Moore. Dishes it to Nicholson. Orlando moving the ball around. Oladipo with the ball. He's against Hill. Oladipo, good. Oladipo's got 10 points. And it's Hill penetrating. Back to Hibbert. Moore with the steal. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Magic lead by 6. We'll take a quick break, then get you back to the action. All right, the fourth quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play. And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Magic.
Well, they're taking high percentage shots in the paint. I like the way their offense is clicking.
You know, they've also been very good from the free throw line. I mean, that's been a very important part of what they've done today.
West with the steal. George with the ball. Picked up by Harris. And George kicks to Watson. It's stolen by Oladipo. And now Orlando on the break. And it's blocked by Stephenson. They retain possession. Afflalo, that's good.
You know, they built their lead here by doing all the little things well.
And one of those things has been rebounding, Clark, because they have really come out and taken control of the boards.
And here's Watson. There's the pass to Stephenson. Feeds to Scola. Clock at 6. With the lead pass. Stephenson can't hit.
He operates pretty well in traffic, guys, but that was a tough play to finish off.
Lamb dishes to Oladipo. Passes it to Lamb. He kicks to Harris. Shot from 6. And too long on the shot.
That's an unusual, surprising miss for him. Typically, he's good on those inside.
Here's West. Can't get it to go. The Magic go the other way with it. Harris a screen on George. Oladipo with the ball. George picks him up. And Oladipo kicks to Nicholson. And it's sent back by George. Now here's Stephenson. Defended by Oladipo. He dishes it to Watson. Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
Talk about doing a Rip Van Winkle on defense. Come on, guys, wake up. Why are they leaving him open at the three-point line? Come on.
Oladipo with the ball. Now guarded by Stephenson. Here's Lamb. And they wasted no time getting those 3 points back. And the Magic lead by 8.
This is great. Three-pointers going down quickly at both ends.
Yeah, it took them no time to answer back on that possession.
Watson for 3. Nicholson grabs the board. Nicholson's got double-digit rebounds now in the game. On the wing, Afflalo. Releases from the wing and drills it. And now it's a 10-point Orlando lead. Time call here. Indiana decides to talk it over.
You know, he wants to tinker a little bit, and he's taking the time to do so right here.
Yeah, I think you're right. He just didn't like some of the things he saw out there, a bit uncomfortable, and wanted to talk it over.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Frank Vogel gave to his team during that last break. He is not pleased with the score and implored them to try to make a push right now, saying, "We don't have time, fellas. If we can't make a dent soon, I'll have to pull the plug." Pretty blunt, Kevin. Back to you.
The first one falls, and Orlando making a change here. Both free throws good from Hill. Orlando leading by 8. And we're about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. And the call will be against George Hill. That will get him his 4th foul of the game.
And that 4th foul might force him to scale back the aggression defensively a little bit. He does not want to pick up number 5.
And the Magic making a change here. O'Quinn's checked in. 6 on the shot clock. He's feeling it. Moves back up. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And the first one at the line is good. Both free throws good from O'Quinn. Pacers trail by 10. Kicks it to Stephenson. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. That's good. 17 points for Paul George.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
And a follow pitch to Oladipo. Harris outside. Here's the screen. 6 to shoot. And the officials call over the back. A little too aggressive there.
Not much doubt about that over-the-back call.
Yeah, he was all over his back that time. Looked like he was going for a piggyback ride.
Indiana's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Stephenson kicks to Hill. He passes it to Stephenson. It's back to Hill. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Magic will take it. And so here's Orlando. They've given up just 8 points in the fourth quarter. He feeds it to Harris. The dish to Oladipo. There's a screen. Afflalo outside. His three-pointers off the mark.
He got the shot he wanted off that pick, just couldn't get it to fall.
But Steve, they'll take that play all day long, 10 times out of 10. That was good action.
Lays it up and banks it in. Afflalo's got 10 points in just the second half.
Well, that's the easiest opportunity an offense can get off a steal.
Exactly. No defense for that.
Stevenson passes to Hill. And he's good on the 3-ball.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
Oladipo dishes to O'Quinn. And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Jameer Nelson's checked in for Oladipo. And Stephenson kicks to George. Hill gets a screen from Hibbert. Hill passes to Stephenson. And here's George for 3. Afflalo pulls it in. Afflalo's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Here's O'Quinn. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here. And the free throw, no good.
Well, Tobias Harris last season, guys, sent from Milwaukee to Orlando at the trade deadline. I like this young man's game. He went from a reserve role to starter's minutes and remained very effective. He's been much more effective in the second half than he was in the first.
Magic leading by 6. Here's Nelson. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. And back to Tobias Harris now in his 3rd season in the league and still just 21 years of age.
And he's the player that Orlando insisted on in that trade with J.J. Redick. So the versatility they liked, the ability to have the skill set of a 3, but also be able to guard a 4. That type of kind of hybrid forward has become very popular in the NBA these days.
Stephenson kicks to Hill. Pass to Hibbert. Shot clock at 6. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Magic will take it. Orlando's gone outside a lot tonight. 17 times, in fact. 7 of 17. Now Nelson. Afflalo outside. The feed now to Harris. Clock at 6. Left side Harris. 13 feet away. The Pacers pull it in.
Looked like he rushed that one, guys. The defense was out of position. He was wide open, just couldn't take advantage.
Hill, guarded by Nelson. George, that's a 2-pointer. Orlando grabs the miss. O'Quinn's got rebound number 12 now. Tenacity on the glass. And stolen by Hibbert. Here's Hill, and he jams it with authority.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
And it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Really was a very strong season, guys, for Jameer Nelson as he bounced back in a big way. You know, he got his scoring up and was acting as a playmaker at a much higher level than what we were accustomed to seeing from him.
Clark, you just mentioned the uptick in assists for Jameer Nelson. He's the Magic's franchise record holder in assists with over 3,000.
You know, I would have guessed that Scott Skiles had more than that.
Me too.
Skiles had so many back in the day, but it just shows you the consistency and the production that Nelson has given that team over almost a decade now.
Magic leading by 7. Goes up to the stripe. Nelson with another miss.
Well, I think he kind of alligator armed that one, short stroked it. After doing a nice job to get open, he didn't finish the shot.
The shot by George, no good.
He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
Pass to Harris. Orlando moving the ball around. Nelson dishes to Afflalo. Shot clock at 6. Dedmon somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. And the Magic lead by 9.
Sloppy defense there. You can't let him get the ball in his hands down there.
Well, when he does, that's an automatic bucket.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, you look at Paul George, my man, PG 24. The young swingman out of Fresno State. Boy, he had a terrific year last season, was the most improved player last season, and a first-time NBA All-Star. You consider how young he is. Just turned 23. And he's got the potential to make plenty more All-Star games. And I think he could ultimately be a Defensive Player of the Year at some time in his career.
He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. And he's now got the double-double. 11 points and 11 rebounds.
Sometimes offensive rebounds are lucky, but he anticipates and gets to the right spot before the shot goes up. And that kind of power move has become a trademark for him.
And for Paul George, the 10th pick back in 2010. What a terrific find for the Pacers.
Well, he was already a good player, but I think the injury to Danny Granger last season created the opportunity for George to really emerge as an all-star. And that's exactly what he did. Dangerous inside and out, excellent defensive player, has a chance to be really special.
Harkless, defended by George. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. That one on George. That free throw, no good. And he sinks the second. Pacers trail by 7. And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. Hill passes to George.
Now, he had it going in the first half, but now he's starting to falter.
The three-pointer, no good. Afflalo with it. Now guarded by Stephenson. Here's Nelson. Takes a big height bounce and goes in.
Boy, that was impressive, Park. He did not hesitate to take the ball right up against the bigger defender.
Boy, I like that aggressive mindset there, Steve.
And George kicks to Stephenson. Bangs on the trifecta. Stevenson's got 19 points.
That's his second three-pointer of the half and his third overall.
Nelson off the pick from O'Quinn. Back to Nelson. Just 5 on the clock. Dedmon. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. That free throw, no good. He hits the second from the line. Pacers trail by 7. West setting the pick for Hill. No good off the back of the rim.
Boy, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
To the inside. Afflalo outside. Dishes to Harkless. O'Quinn. 6 on the shot clock. Harkless kicks to Afflalo. For 3, Nelson. Hill pulls it in.
No luck for him this half after being outstanding from outside the arc in the first half.
3 from Stephenson. No good. So Orlando will take it the other way. They've led by as much as 10. Nelson kicks to Harkless. And the pass to O'Quinn. Dedmon takes it into the teeth of the knee and completes the layup.
Shaky defense down low again. It's been a mismatch in the paint.
I'm sure they didn't go into this one expecting to get battered like they have inside.
Hill kicks to Stephenson. Off target with his 3.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, a little frustrated now, shaking his head after that miss.
Nelson outside. Nelson off the pick from O'Quinn. And Nelson gets it to go. And now an 11-point Magic lead.
They didn't take their time wrapping this game up. They pretty much did it in a hurry.
Yeah, they had a nice spurt to polish this one off.
Here's West. Can't get it to go. Excellent D there from O'Quinn. It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Nelson dishes to O'Quinn. Nelson with it. George picks him up. But they'll get another chance.
That's how to bang down low. His hard work gives them another possession.
And Afflalo kicks to Harkless. And so it's Orlando taking this one by a big margin. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what more can you ask?
For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and